Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All My Plants. Today I have, is it a wish list? I'm not sure it's a wish list, but plants that I would like to try to grow next year. And maybe a lot of it's wishful thinking, so we'll see. I've left room here to put in some pictures of the plants I'm talking about for anyone who's unfamiliar with it. And in no particular order, let's get started. The first plant, oh, I love this one. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Syzgium Celebes. No idea. But I think you can see what appeals to me about this plant. The texture of those leaves. I am really into that. I like that a lot. That, and from what I gather, you know, scrolling through, I was looking at other pictures of it. The new growth comes in kind of pink. And I'm not sure if this is like a shrub, a tree. I don't know. I get the impression that it's tree-like anyway. But yeah, I really want to grow that. There's a ladybug crawling around on the camera. If I'm looking shifty off to the side, that's why. But anyway, that's the first plant, and I'm really into that. I don't know anything about this plant. A lot of these I don't know anything about because I've never grown them before, I think. This one I definitely don't know anything about. I haven't Googled it or anything. I just searched it on Instagram to find these pictures. And you'll note that I've left what I Googled to find the pictures at the top, the name of the person who had it posted. So just in case you want to go see more of that plant or more from that person. But yeah, that's the first one. That's so nice. I've never seen anything like it before. Never. I've never seen any Syzgium. I have no idea how you say that. But I'm assuming it's one that I think if I had seen it somewhere, I'd remember because it's an unusual name. I don't know, but I like it. Gotta find it. The next one. And this is a Coleus. I saw it on Etsy. I was scrolling through Etsy a few days ago, and it didn't look like this in the picture that they had, the listing. It didn't look like this at all. Similar maybe, but there was a lot of neon green in there with this. And if you search this plant, Coleus Black Dragon, if you search this plant, you're gonna get some mixed results. Definitely on Instagram anyway. I saw a whole bunch of neon, like plants that I'm looking at going, that cannot be real. That cannot be real. So I've chosen this one to represent it because it's the closest to what I was seeing. I love it. It's the dark foliage. I really, really like that dark foliage. It's very nice, very nice. And I've grown Coleus both indoors and out. The only problem I have with it indoors is mostly I was bringing it in the winter. It really wants to get leggy. It really wants to flower. But it propagates so easily. It propagates so easily. It was easy enough just to pinch it back, stick it in water, and keep it going until I could put it out again. So, yeah, I really like the dark foliage. That and the ruffled leaf edge. I mean, there's a lot of really nice Coleus out. I've seen more and more in the last few years. I know people don't typically think of it as a houseplant, and I don't know if I do either. But I really like it. I think it's very pretty. I could just stare at these pictures of these plants all day. But, moving on. This one's a begonia. Begonia thelmae. I guess that's how you say that. It reminds me of, Pachira? Is that, no, Paulownia pachira or Paulownia pulchra, Paulownia repens. It reminds me of Paulownia. That's what it reminds me of. I'm saying pachira. I don't think that has anything to do with Paulownia. But yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like a sort of shingling begonia. I saw some pictures where people had them on a moss pole. I don't know if that's necessary. I don't know anything about this plant. Other than it looks really pretty. It looks really pretty. I think it's that bright green in the center of the leaf that I like. Kind of draws my eye. That, and I think if it has more of a trailing habit, I think that would be really cool. Really cool. I don't know how well it grows unsupported and just like flopping over a basket. I have no idea. I'd like to find out though. I'd like to find out because it is really pretty. There's a fungus gnat. Okay, now that I've had a fit about a fungus gnat flying around in my face, I can come back. This next one, it's a peace lily. It's Spathiphyllum mint. And I saw this once, early this summer, I want to say, at a Lowe's. At a Lowe's. It was the only one they had. It wasn't labeled as anything in particular. I don't think it had a, you know, it just said beautiful home decor or something, as they do. But, so I just kind of walked away. I went, well, what is that? You know, is that a Dieffenbachia of some sort? What is it? Is it an aglaonema? No, it was this plant. And I've been looking for it ever since. And I haven't found it anywhere. So I'm pretty sad about that. But if I'm completely honest, I don't think I've ever had a peace lily for more than a year. I don't have any currently. The last one I had was Domino. I think it was variegated. My daughter got me a nice big pot of this peace lily, and it kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not sure if I was underwatering it or overwatering it. Last ditch effort, I took it out of the pot it was in, took it out of soil, washed it off real good, and put it in pond. That didn't go well. That didn't go well. So it's gone. It's gone. But I would like this one. I don't know if I'll ever find it again. The next one. Maranta cat moustache. It's apparently a no ID Maranta. And it does look similar to, what is it, silver band or black band Maranta. But it's that down the center there where it's very bright green, and then the darker around that, and then back to a normal green. I don't know. Something about that. I think it's downright seductive. I don't know if Maranta has ever made my wish list before. I don't think it has. Or like my want to grow list. I haven't had a great time with them historically. So this year has been okay. I think I've got them all in. No, I have one that's in soil, but I think all of the rest are in pond. So it's at least the watering issue, I've got that under control with that. That's not to say that, you know, spider mites or mealybugs or whatever are leaving them alone, but I do find them a little bit easier to maintain in self-watering. So I'd try it. I would definitely try it. The next one, and oh, I just realized, I was just looking at the name of the picture, Unplant Parenthood, and she's grown it well. This is Alocasia Serendipity. She has really grown it well. That is a gorgeous plant. It's the dark leaves. They're so dark. Like, this plant looks pristine. How did she manage that with a Alocasia? But anyway, it looks really good. The texture, I like the leaf shape. I really do like the like dragon's breath. Alocasia dragon's breath is one of my favorites because of that very long, slender leaf shape. Plus the texture. But this looks like it would be a nice thick textured leaf. I don't know. I don't think I have this. I'm sitting here wondering, do I have this? I don't think I do. I think the closest I have is, it's green, and it's not a dark green, it's just a regular green, which is a corm at the moment. It's making a move. It's trying to come back, but it's just not there yet. But I really like that. I really like that. I would love to grow it. I saw one somewhere and the leaves were huge. I want to say while I was scrolling through maybe Etsy, and the leaves were enormous. You know how that's how they catfish you in to buy this little 2-inch starter plant, as they show you a picture of the huge plant, a magnificent specimen. But yeah, I would definitely grow that. I would put it in pond. The next one blue oil fern, or Microsorum thailandicum. That might be right. I'm not sure. Blue oil fern. It's blue. It's blue. And the leaves are thick, kind of like a Hoya. They're more rigid than, you know, a lot of other plants. I saw this plant. I saw this plant when I was in, North Carolina at Growing Green. And I was tempted. I was really tempted. It was a little teeny thing. I don't even know how much it was. I picked it up and I was eyeballing it. I was like, oh wow, you know, this is really cool. And then I put it down and walked away. And went and picked up the Syngonium chiapense variegated instead. But yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty. I don't think the ones I saw were quite as blue. They were very small. So to be fair, I think it's, to really have this plant shine, I guess it needs, you know, whatever conditions it is that it wants, whatever light it is that it wants. And you know how a greenhouse is, or a nursery, generally plants are getting whatever conditions are available. So, but yeah, I would love to grow that. I would love to grow that because it's blue. It's blue. I haven't done well with most ferns. I mean, I guess I had a crocodile fern for a long time. That did really well until I went on vacation and it didn't get any water. Nobody watered that. This is back when my kids still used to water my plants for me. But anyway, some ferns I find easier than others. This looks like where it has a thicker leaf, I don't think it would be quite as dramatic about maybe having to wait a day extra for water. I don't know that to be true. If you have it, let me know. But yeah, so pretty. This next plant, I have had this plant before. Hoya serpens. I got it on Etsy, and it was a 2-leaf cutting, and I think the entire cutting was about as big as my little thumbnail here. And you know, it was just 2 leaves, 1 node, with a little bitty stem. And it was unrooted. It didn't go good. It did not go well. I had it forever and it would start to root. She had them in moss, the person who sent them to me. It was Hoya serpens and Alocasia intervariegated, maybe. Not 100%. But they were in this little bitty container. It looked like something you'd see earrings sold in. It was teeny tiny. And so that's what I left them in for a while, in moss. And then I was trying to get them out, you know, into something. So they ended up going in one of those little cloche dome things. I have one over here, that's why I'm staring over there. I had it in there in a little teeny medicine cup with soil. And it did grow some. It did, but I couldn't ever get it out of the cloche. And I have no room to have things growing in those forever, especially when it would only grow so much, and then it would start to die back. So I'd intervene somehow, and then it would start to grow, and then it would start to die back. I had the worst time ever with the cutting, and the Alocasia was very much the same issues. Finally, I think I went on vacation or something. I'm not sure. But I came back and, well, maybe I didn't come back. I don't know. But the next time I looked at them, they were bone dry. There was nothing there to save. And I called it. I gave up. I got tired of fooling with it. But I love the little teeny leaves. Like, I guess in this picture you can see there's a string of pearls next to it. The leaves are so small. And this is a beautiful one. I've seen some that are splashy and some that are just plain green. I really have no preference. It's those little teeny leaves. Although, little teeny leaves on plants give me a hard time. It wasn't just these, like Alocasia and the serpens that have given me a hard time. I also have a string of pearls in this cabinet over here. It's a variegated string of pearls. It's giving me a hard time. I've never had any problem with string of pearls before, but I don't know. Anymore, if the leaves are small, I'm just going to unalive it. It's not on purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's because teeny leaves, teeny pot. Teeny pot, dry quick. The next one. And I just talked about this because I've got a plant that is crossed with some of this in it. But this is Fairchild crystallinum, or FTG crystallinum. It says F2 NSE here. But, oh, that's a nice Anthurium. That is a nice Anthurium. I like the shape. I like the kind of waviness of the leaf. The veins. There is so much veininess going on there. That's insane. I could just sit here and drool about this plant for a while. And I might. I'll get back to you in a minute. Not really. I'll drool over it later on my own time. But I do really like this. I had at one point sworn off Anthuriums and said, you know, I'm not getting any more Anthuriums. Then 6 months later, here we are. I just went and got another Anthurium. And it wasn't, I didn't find them particularly tricky, but I've had some bad experiences with Anthurium. I had some fungal or bacterial issues. I don't know. It was mostly philodendron, but a couple of my Anthuriums fell prey to it as well. And then I had bought, I want to say maybe last year, not this past one, not this past January, but the one before that. And it wasn't quite January, it was maybe in the fall. I don't know, it's been about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I'll put it that way. I had bought a Queen Anthurium, Warocqueanum, and that is the next one on the list, as a matter of fact. I don't think anybody needs a picture of that. I think everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I had purchased one, and I had brought it home, and it looked okay. One leaf was kind of crispy, had some yellowing, but the newest leaf that had most recently unfurled on this plant looked great. So I picked it up and I brought it home, and I was holding this plant and thinking, wow, this pot feels really heavy. And I could see some chunk sticking out of the top, and it was a big chunk, don't get me wrong, it was huge. So I pulled it out of there, I say a long, long time. Days. Days, I don't know how many days. But even when I started to let the pot dry, it still felt very, very heavy after a few days. And I'm like, why is this so heavy? The chunk can't be that big, can it? I unpotted it, pulled it out of there. Long story short, the chunk was pretty good size, but the thing that was so heavy was that it was waterlogged. It was never going to dry, and every single root was rotten. Every single one. Like, it reeked. It stank. It was horrible. And I paid a fair amount of money for that, you know, because they weren't, the price hadn't come down so much at that time. So that was really disappointing. And I did everything I could to try to save this plant, this chunk, but it was just, it wasn't happening. So yeah, Fairchild crystallinum. I think I'm ready to attempt some Anthuriums again. That's one that I would like to try, along with Queen Anthurium. So skipping right along, this next plant, that's so cute. It's Alocasia Black Velvet Pink Variegated. It's pink. It's pink. I have the regular black velvet also in this cabinet, growing back from a corm. I transferred a lot of things to pond from soil, and I don't take the time to root them in water first and do this, that, and the other. I just hose off the roots and plunk them in there and hope for the best, which is what I did to the black velvet. So it's got a spike coming back up now. It's been a while, but we're making progress. Black velvet I find to be a very tough plant. I think it's a very good grower, pretty quick grower. I'm not going to say it's, you know, breaking speed records or anything, but I found it to be consistent. Easy care. It does not seem to be a complete siren for pests, at least not in my collection. I think I could do it. However, I did pop onto Etsy and look at the prices of this guy, and I died inside just a little. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I don't love the price tag. But, like, Alocasia are so prolific with corms. Like, look at the price of the variegated fried egg. Michaelitiana, the variegated one. Look at how that has plummeted. I think it's going to do the same with this, with a lot of the variegated alocasias. I really do. Like my Okinawa silver, I think I picked it up for 25 bucks, and that was years ago. I'm just saying, they're so easy to propagate. I mean, you just pluck off a couple corms. I've even, on some of the ones that end up with a longer stump, cut that in half and repotted it and had two grow that way. I think that the prices will come down eventually if I'm patient enough. To something I'm a little bit more likely to pay. So, but yeah, that's part of the reason I like this plant, is because it's tough. I know that I can have a nice full pot in no time, you know what I mean? The next one, also an alocasia. That's sexy. That is, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Alocasia Serendipity Pink Variegated. I'm not even telling you what it is. I guess you could read it if you were wanting me to hurry up. You could have read it. But wow. This particular one, I don't know if they all have this kind of characteristic. There's like that minty color in there, like a grayish green. I don't know. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. And this plant is insanely expensive. I think it was worse than the, I say worse, more highly priced than the variegated black velvet, the pink variegated black velvet. That, and I don't even know that I've ever seen Alocasia Serendipity anywhere. I don't know. I don't know that I have. So I don't know if the price will ever come down on this to a point where I feel comfortable paying it. We'll see. We'll see, because that is pretty. That would be very tempting. Wherever I saw it, I'd be tempted. I don't know. It's just very nice. Very nice indeed. Honorable mentions. I don't have any pictures of them, but honorable mentions. Variegated banana. You know, I grow regular bananas. And I like them. I find them a little bit prone to spider mites and a little bit picky about water indoors. Outdoors, they're tough as nails. Go figure. But so variegated banana, that's one that I have been eyeballing. I've been like, do I do it? Nah. Also variegated bird of paradise, which I would like to grow it, but I will never intentionally buy that plant. And that sounds terrible, but it's because I have just a regular bird of paradise, and in the winter it regularly gets to about 10 feet tall because it's stretching for the light, 10, 12 feet tall, because it stretches for light. In the summer, it goes back down to about 8 feet tall, 7 or 8 feet tall, because the new leaves end up much shorter because I put it in full sun. So I think that's why. I just don't have space for 2 of those, so that's why I won't get that one. Another would be Alocasia. Oh gosh, it's fuzzy and it's black. Let me Google it. Anthurium velvet. Is that it? Oh, there's a bunch of them. Yeah, Anthurium velvet, I'm gonna say is what it is. I'm looking at pictures of it here. This is from the Green Escape, I guess, on Etsy. But yeah, so that's one I would like, because dark foliage is a reoccurring theme for me. Everything I want is dark foliage. Not everything. I just really do appreciate it. And another one would be Anthurium frigidii. Again, I had that before, and that is one of the ones that the greenhouse took it out. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I can't remember. Was it this year? No, it had to be last year. Anthurium frigidii. And dark form, preferably. So what's on your wish list, your want to grow list? Do you have similar ones to me? Same? Different? Let me know down below, because I'm always looking for new plants to obsess over. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.